Greetings and salutations. Coming at you in this A&P room, doing another video, this time about eye anatomy. Eye. It's kind of funny, there's no I in eye. Nobody ever talks about that. Anyway, let's go over some of the structures. So we got two glorious looking eyeballs here. Ooh, that one's got a little bit of a downward tint to it. There you go. Oh, whoops, never mind, angle will be fixed. And we got this little rascal over here with various muscles, which I didn't make things for. Well, I might do that in the meantime. Anyway, let's focus up. Focus up. So I got a slew of words here. Let's go over some stuff. Now, the first thing you want to go over is you want to know the layers of the eyeball. Like an onion, the eye has layers. And so we got to start with those. Let me see if I can find the one for it. Where are you? There's the outermost layer. Did I not make? Son of a biscuit. And we're back. Now we can go over the layers of the eye. Now that I have the things for them. Alright, so the first is the outermost. There's two ones to want to be concerned of. The first is the sclera, and it's the whites of the eye on the outside. So all that is the sclera. And then the transparent part where light passes through is the cornea. And so sclera, cornea, that's the outermost area. Pop that sucker open, just crack it open like an egg. There he goes. That's how your eye sounds if you split it open. Fun fact. And so now we see this lovely layer on the inside. It's kind of purple, I don't know, mauve. What color is mauve? I don't know. Anyway, whatever that is, this material here is its own structure. Son of a... I had sclera already labeled. Damn it. Where is the thing? Where are you? Sorry, I apologize. I should have... Here we go. Corduroy, like a good pair of corduroy pants. I may have mentioned this in another video or somewhere, but I had some corduroy pants that look kind of like this color, so I've never forgotten it for that reason. So corduroy, middle layer, and then if you crack this sucker open, another egg, just pull it on out of there. And then we have the yolk, which is something else. But if you look on the inside, we see the innermost layer, and that is our retina. Retina, focus up now. There we go. Focus up back there. Boom! The retina. And it's kind of this pink peach color. Very, very thin. Whoosh. Okay. And then while we're back here, let's take a look at a few other things. One is the optic disc. And it's this little panel right there. So optic disc. And so it's a disc for the optics. What more do you need to know? More specifically, it's the blind spot of the eye, and it's where the optic nerve leaves. The optic nerve comes in from this thing here. Shouldn't have thrown that. This here. So this is a blind spot. This is where there's no receptors for actually detecting light, just based on the way the eye is structured. So who knows? Perfect vision, I think not. Next up, we have the macula lutea, and that's this little sunspot looking thing here. This kind of red area around there. So this is a very high concentration of cones in the vision, and so as you move away you have more rods. This is where generally where your eyes trying to focus. So when you change your lens shape, you're trying to hit this spot here, this macula lutea area, and specifically another very made-up sounding word, fovea centralis. See, these words don't make any sense. I don't know why this is a thing. I like macula lutea better. It sounds like a lot of fun. Like a macula lutea, like it sounds like a fun little, like, I don't know, little drink you'd have in the Bahamas on vacation or something. Like it sounds like a good time. Macula lutea, hell yeah, sign me up. Fovea centralis, a little less so. It sounds more like a skin condition or something. But anyway, fovea centralis is this yellow thing here, this yellow thing. And that is the main area of only cones, so you get the cleanest vision possible. And so when your lens focus, you're trying to hit this point here. And if you're nearsighted or farsighted, what happens is, does it say Nick in here? Nick? Did Nick claim this? Hold on, I don't want to give Nick any credit. I don't know who this Nick is. It said Nick was here. I can't even erase it, whatever. And so anyway, so what happens if you're nearsighted or farsighted is, your eyes don't hit this point anymore. And so they hit further away, because your eye is too long, so the refraction's not right. So if you wear corrective lenses, it fixes it to hit it in that spot. Alrighty, so that's those things, fovea centralis. Now, back here in this area, you got this big old wad of jelly. And so this is the vitreous humor. And it's the humor that is in the, the posterior segment of the eye. And so the posterior segment and the humor within is the vitreous humor. So if you can double up here. Ooh, do the old double ski. This is tricky. Boom! There we go. So this is that. So the posterior segment is anything behind the lens, and this is the vitreous humor, which is the fluid that's filled up behind the lens. The vitreous humor does not change. It's formed before birth, and it sticks there and stays the entire time. It's a big jelly-like mass. You get a lot of floaters. One of the areas you can commonly find them is in here. They just got to break down, hopefully over time. And then the front of that, where the lens would, I guess, pop in, is there. So that's where the lens sticks. And so that does lead us to our lens. Let's pop it in on the other side of the eye. Get out of here, you POS. All right, so we look over here. We got the lens down here. Oh, how pretty, how pretty. Stupid lens. And so the lens fits in there, and the front of the lens is the anterior segment. And so it's kind of, put this little thing back in there. Hold on a minute. Trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again over here. All right, here we go. All right, so we got the anterior segment, which is in front of the lens. So in here, in this area, man, that sucks. But anyway, it's like this area here. So all of this kind of in front of the lens, surrounding the pupil and the iris on the outside, and then on the inside as well. So when you move this out, in front of the lens, so down in this area is where you'd also find it. That's kind of brutal, I'm sorry. But that's where you'd also find the aqueous humor. So the anterior segment has the aqueous humor. And so it's in front of the lens, down in here, and then, damn it, this back over here. Aqueous humor is also found in here, it's the front. And this is one that's constantly replenished throughout your life. And so it's drained and formed by capillaries. So when blood vessel gets filtered out, and it forms it. How many times do I have to rebuild that eye again this time around? Let's see. So okay, we got that. And so when the lens is slotted on in now, you have the ciliary body, which is this entire unit here. And so the ciliary body is made of a couple pieces. One of them is the process, which makes the fluid. The other one is the muscle. And so the muscle does is it connects to the lens via the ciliary zonule / suspensory ligaments here. And so this muscle connects to the pupil. And so what happens is during various moments, your eyes will contract or relax, which changes the shape of the lens, which allows you to actually see further away or closer up. So you can change the shape of the lens via the muscle on the outside. And so that's how you can focus your vision. And so the autonomic nervous system is involved with that. Parasympathetic, sympathetic can shift it up a bit to see that. So that's the ciliary body. Right on up in here with the ligaments down in there that change the shape of the lens. All right, get out of here. Next up is the old iris. And so this is the back of the iris here. Ooh, plot twist, not always colorful. The flip side of it, that's the colorful part. This is kind of like my eyes, kind of this nice blue hue. I wore colored contacts once when I was in school for a bit, and I always wore those real pretty aquamarine eyes. I was like, oh man, I love your eyes. Are they real? And I was like, no, and they just immediately lost interest in me and my stories. So, long story short, lie is the lesson I learned from that tale. Next up, we have another structure, and it's kind of one that's not even on the model technically, but it's the pupil, and it's found here, right? But note, the pupil is an actual physical structure. It's just the absence of light, which I find really creepy because it's essentially a black hole in the eye. Which, how freaky is that? Like, I've stared at my pupils in the mirror for like 15 minutes before, and just like stared at them intently, like, this is a black hole. It's in my eye. It's gonna suck me up, and like maybe that's what the universe is we're just one massive pupil in some monster's eye or something. Like, who even knows, right? It's just so freaky. It's like light doesn't escape. It just goes down and down and down and it just gets stuck. And then it comes back up sometimes. Anyway, red light can kind of escape. That's why you get the red eye effect, but it just goes through really quick. But for the most part, though, it just gets sucked in. It's really weird. Is that all the eye? That was fast. Well, fast-ish, 9 minutes. I wouldn't necessarily call fast. But that's pretty much that. There are some other muscles. Hold, please. So this is another area to showcase the aqueous humor. Right here. This is where it would be. So right in there. Then also right in front of the lens. And that is also the anterior segment. Where did I put that thing? Here it is. Voila! Anterior segment! Voila! Now, is this not the anterior point? I guess it's the front. Whatevs. Alright, hold. And we're back. If it's instantaneous for you, I don't know why I said that. Anyway, so we're going to do the eye muscles now. And so I know this is kind of a longer video. I don't like doing those, even though they always happen. But I love the eye. I think it's a really cool thing. I've had a lot of eye injuries myself. I saying the word eye a lot. And then, so I don't know. I've always had an attachment. I've had scratched retinas, 3 at once, kind of my record. Hopefully not the top of that record ever. I've had a lot of pink eye. I've had a lot of itchy eyes, allergy eyes. I was stabbed in the eye with a stick as a kid. So yeah, lots of interesting things with me in the eye. It's been a fun ride. Speaking of fun rides, muscles, baby. Let's do it. And so who doesn't like muscles? And so what's cool with the eye is it has pretty much like 2 names for muscles, and it's just directions. And so the trick is, from here, you're at the medial view. I'm gonna strap this sucker back together too. And then, so here we go. So we got our eye, so we got our medial view. And then, if you know that, everything else kind of just makes sense. So let's start with it. Start off with a rectus, medial rectus. You know, I bet when you took anatomy, you never thought you'd hear the word rectus that much. No when I think rectus, I think something else. But here we go. You know, who knew? Rectus was such a common word to use. And the more you say rectus, kind of the weirder it gets, but also the more normal it gets. So it just kind of, you know, is what it is. It's the medial side, and it's the rectus of the medial. What does rectus mean? I don't know. I don't want to know. I like living in mystery. I'm not one of those people who has to know everything. This is a lateral rectus. Let's see how many times I can say rectus. Do a count on your own. Rectus, 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 lateral side. Rectus, rectus, rectus on the lateral side. There we go. Make a Broadway play called that. The rectus of your rectus is my rectus. Here is the superior rectus up here. It's on the superior side. Superior rectus. On the inferior is, you may have guessed it, on the downside, on the DL, as they call it on the streets, is right there. Boy, that sucks, doesn't it? That right there. Not this one. Not the one below it, but this one that goes straight back in there. Jesus. Can this thing come up? Nope. Does it even have one? Yeah, okay. On this side, let's turn her on over. Ooh, goodness. It's got a label on the bottom. I didn't label these as names. Oh well. I'll call this Tim's eye. Boom, inferior rectus. Woo! And now it means we have 2 left, the obliques. A muscle you theoretically learned before with the abdomen. And so this is the superior oblique. It's right up in there, and it connects via a tendon over here. Whoa! And then the oblique inferior variety down here, down below. This one going to the side. And so it's easier just to have, you know, the 4 recti as your cardinal directions, and then the obliques come in from the side. This one doesn't even have it. No, I'm using that one. Idiot. No, so you got the rectus there, and the oblique come in that way. And that wraps up the eye, friends. The chaos that was the eye. Eye. Ba-doo! Good luck. Peace out.